Welcome, writers, readers, and friends, to the Authors Talking Bookish podcast. I'm Donna Norman Carbone, author of All That Is Sacred.
And I'm Hope Gibbs, author of Where the Grass Grows Blue.
We're two debut writers traditionally published by a small publishing house, bringing to you all the experiences that we as authors learn the hard way, so you don't have to.
We'll give you insights from the inception of a book idea to publication and beyond. And along the way, we'll share our love of books from the writer's perspective.
Happy New Year, folks. We're back. It's 2026, and we are on our 62nd episode. So I thought that was interesting, the way the numbers transpose. We are talking today about publishing industry predictions. I'm Donna Carbone, and this is Hope Gibbs. Hi, Hope.
Hey, Donna. How are you?
I'm great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And as a teacher, I can't believe you didn't make some kind of joke when you said 6'7", because I have adult children and they all joke about the trend 6'7". So you just said 6'7". So we're already on trend for 2026.
Yeah, right.
So something exciting happened to Donna while we were off. Donna, I think you have a very big announcement.
Yeah, my oldest son had a baby on December 30th, and I got to see her on New Year's Eve day, and I'm going back to see her tomorrow for the second time. I can't wait. It is just amazing how beautiful she is and how instantaneously I fell in love with her.
She is beautiful. You sent me a picture, and she has the biggest cheeks. I mean, and she has this perfect little face, and I'm just so happy for you. I know that this has been something you've been looking forward to for a while.
Yeah, I'm embracing my grandma era.
Okay, and I think you've already announced it, but what is she calling you again? What is your name?
I think I don't know what she's going to call me, but we're going with Nana right now.
Nana. I love that. Well, congratulations. Hey, what a Christmas present.
I know, the best kind.
Oh, congratulations.
How was your holiday?
It was great. Lots of cooking, and did, Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, and then we went to Mexico. Some of my kids went, and some in-laws went. And, when you go with the Comiskey's, you have to get a vacation after the vacation. We were doing golf and paddleboarding, and I got to see multiple whales because the whales come down to that part of Mexico to give birth. And I saw crocodiles, several crocodiles. And so it was just a lot of fun. I love that part of the world, and I can't wait to get back.
Yeah, what a great way to bring in the new year.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was a great way to bring in the new year. And so I also did a lot of reading while I was on my trip. And I was wondering, did you get any reading? Because I know that you were so busy with holidays and TV news.
One of our mutual friends, Linda Rosen, has written her fourth book.
I think this is her fourth book. Yeah.
And it was phenomenal. I read it over the break. It's called Abandoning the Script. And anyone who is a feminist will absolutely love it because it's about the 1920s after the suffragette movement and how it's about this one woman who is a mom and she's married and she's also an actress, which is frowned upon by her husband and, society too. The society wants women back then to stay at home and just embrace motherhood. And she has a hard time doing that. So it's about her journey. And it is just an amazing book. It's a page turner. I've read all of Linda's books, and this is the best one yet. So I can't recommend it enough. I think it comes out February 17th, maybe around that time.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Linda. Yeah. She's our bookish road trip connection.
Yeah. I hope to get her on because it's a fascinating story. I'd like to talk to her about it.
Well, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. What about you? Did you read anything?
I did. So I'm reading an advanced reader copy from someone from our publishing company, and I haven't finished that. But when I was on the airplane, my daughter, she grabbed a book out of, the bookstore when you're at the airport. And shockingly, I loved it. It's called The Last One at the Wedding,
Oh,
and it is so interesting. It's from the point of view of the father of the bride, and the bride is marrying into this very secretive billionaire family, and things are not quite right. And they go to the family compound for this wedding, and he's a stand-up kind of guy, and he's starting to see some cracks. And there's a lot of twists and turns with this one, and you know what? It was the perfect book to read on the airplane because I finished it as we were landing in Nashville, as Georgia, my husband's beloved Bulldogs and my son's alma mater as well, was losing in the college football playoff series. So I was able to completely just forget about them being upset. But I highly recommend this book. And my daughter, it's right up her alley because she loves books like this. She loves The Housemaid, all of those books. And we actually went to the movie. We'll have to talk about that one day.
oh
We
yeah.
went to go see the movie to see the adaptation and the differences. And it was great this time because it was really one of the first books my daughter read and actually watched the movie adaptation. So it was fun to see it through her lens.
Yeah, that's neat. Will you do me a favor and put the cover of that book up one more time?
Yes, it is so interesting.
Because here's what struck me, all the crossouts.
Yes.
I'm so intrigued to read it just from that one little detail on the cover.
And you know, the cool thing about this, so most of the it takes place at this family compound, but it's more than a compound. It's like a big camp. You open up the first page and there's a map
Oh,
of
wow.
the wedding compound. And it just, at that point, I'm like, oh, I'm hooked. So yeah, I would love to discuss this book more. It's that interesting.
Awesome. It
Yeah.
reminds me of, I think it's an Ellen Hildebrand. Was it The Perfect Couple
Yes,
that
she
was
wrote that
just
book.
on, it was
Yes,
streaming?
yes,
Okay.
it was on Netflix. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of that.
yeah.
I
It's
hadn't read the book, but I did see the adaptation.
there might be a potential missing body at
Oh,
this place. So yes, so
wow.
yes,
So similar. Yeah.
it's similar but very different. And I like the male voice. I liked
Yeah.
having a male protagonist, and I really liked this book.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So let's
Mm,
talk about today. What is today's
yeah.
episode? Our first one of 2026.
I know. Well, we started a little tradition the very first season, and our first show after the new year, we took a look at some articles about industry predictions, and we're going to do that again. Hope was good enough to cull a few articles that she found and pulled out some really interesting trends that we hope to see in 2026 and some that have continued from last year.
Yeah. So let's start. So again, I picked this was about 5 different articles because normally we do this one article and it just came out and we're going to include that as well. But I pulled from all kinds of resources, even from People Magazine. People Magazine has gotten, they're writing a lot more about books. And so
Mm.
one of the first things, and of course, this speaks to me,
Mhm.
is the enduring allure of romance. Love stories are not going out of style. And so that's what I found fascinating because romance books are really very strong in the market. I think they're probably I think they're number one genre.
Yeah,
And 2025 proved that there is still a desire, no pun intended,
right.
for romance books. But it's more than just that, it's finding interesting like niches, like little subgenres within romance.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of sports related romance, hockey in particular. There is a
Yes.
big hockey subgenre out there. Um, which it fascinates me as a hockey mom. I had 3 kids who played hockey and my husband coaches, so we are embedded in the hockey world. Um, but I've yet to read a hockey romance, so I'll have to add that to my list.
You definitely will. And there's also dark romance. I mean,
Mhm.
there's also the fantasy romance. And then, there's just traditional romance. But I found that that's very interesting because there are being very specific genres. So do
Yeah.
you read romance? Is that something that's up your alley or?
I'm not a romance reader. I do like rom-com, which is a subgenre that has existed for a very long time. Um, I'm not typically a romance reader, but I do like an element of romance to the books that I read.
Yeah.
How about
So,
you?
well, I mean, I set up my first book. I really thought it was more women's fiction, and I think it still does have a women's fiction tone to it, but
Yeah.
it kept getting in categories of romance, and so I
Right.
leaned into it. So, yeah, I love a good romance. I one of the books I'm reading now, the advanced reader copy I'm reading now, is in the genre of romance.
Hmm.
Because this author in our publishing group said, "Would anyone be willing to read it and give me a blurb?" And it's romance, and I said, "Sure." And so I do like a romance. And so but the thing is, it is still very, very strong in the market.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
So let's talk about something else. And this is something
Sure.
that's controversial. It is the role of AI. And guess what, people? It is not going anywhere because a blog I found from Lumina Datamatics, sorry, it is continuing to reshape the publishing industry, and it is touching everything. And it's not just content, it is distribution, it's
Yeah.
marketing, and it's not going anywhere. So,
No.
Donna, how do you feel about AI? And I mean, think about how
Well, I have
different it is.
very strong feelings about
Yeah,
AI. I don't ever want it to take the place of content, but I strongly support it being used to, you know, expedite efficiently marketing and the other kinds of things that we need to do to publish our book and to put our book out there in the world. I use it for, social media content, which is not anything new. I've talked about that before. I use it to generate ideas, honestly, for this show. When we are trying to determine, what are some topics that we might want to cover, I might put that into ChatGPT and see where it goes. Um, I don't allow it to replace what I write and what I think and, what Hope thinks in terms of putting the show together, but it certainly does spark ideas. And I don't think that that's a bad thing.
yeah. Well, according to several articles, I mean, it's not just that. It was also in an article that we're going to talk about here at the end of the show. It had 5 different categories about AI, not just one, and it's going
Yeah.
into copyright, it's going into proofreading. I mean, it's not going anywhere, and there are benefits. I mean,
Yeah.
it's time saving. It can help you, come up with ideas, but then there
Mhm.
is the ethical and the moral dilemma of AI can write a book in no time. And it
Right.
takes, a human, even the fastest human, it can take, months.
Right.
And in my case, it can take years. So, um,
Mhm.
that's the problem with AI. It's what is the right balance? And it's so funny because from 2 years ago when we would do this show, AI was still, I mean, I didn't even understand it. I still
Yeah.
don't understand it. I'll be completely honest. My kids have a grasp of it that I will never understand.
Well,
Um,
I understand it primarily from teaching because
yeah,
my students, yeah, have a much stronger grasp of it than I do. But I just think any art, it will never replace any art form because of the humanness, because of emotion. Everything I've seen generated on AI is usually pretty predictable and doesn't have a lot of depth to it. So I think using it for things like, culling metadata to see what's working and what's not working in marketing, I think that's a brilliant use of AI.
yeah. Well, let's talk about something a little less scary,
Yeah,
and a little
and
bit
more fun.
something that I think that you and I know a little bit more about. This was something that I found in one of these articles that surprised me. Nostalgia,
Mhm.
1990s, it's coming back. There is a big trend towards fiction that is inspired by the late 1990s and the early 2000s to draw in millennials.
Yeah.
So I I didn't even know this was something out there, but I love this.
Well, you know what? I started to kind of, when I read this, I hadn't heard that it was a trend per se.
Mhm,
I certainly have noticed, like, Bridget Jones' Diary did
mhm.
another show, right? There's that, is it The Holiday that they're remaking with Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz?
Okay.
Is that
Are
right?
they remaking that?
I think they're
Yeah.
revisiting it,
Yeah.
making like like the next in the series. Um Also, Summer Sisters was repackaged and released. That's a Judy Blume book, and
Yeah.
that came out, I believe, in the 90s. And so what they're saying is that the audience is primarily millennials or Gen Z. So they're like 30 to 40-year-olds wanting to kind of recapture that time, which was a simpler time. It was
Yeah.
pre-smartphone, right? Pre-technology. And so that makes perfect sense to me. I think we are so overwhelmed with technology and science that reverting back to a simpler time is something that has been done over and over through the ages.
Yeah. They also, the trend is a lot more authors are writing in that time period. And I love that as well. And you're right. Because for us, at least when I was in the 80s, growing up in Kentucky, I used to love movies that were set in the 50s thinking, oh, that was so old. It's the same difference here. So I get that. I
Yeah.
get that longing of a different time. So with less technology and what you're saying, but yes, that is a trend that I not only love, I can get behind that. It kind of got some ideas turning in my head that, you know what, that would be a fun time, like a fun time period to start writing in.
Yeah.
So let's talk about another trend. It is the evolution of audiobooks. They are evolving to meet growing demand because readers are wanting even a more immersive experience. Now, you and I both have got audiobooks, and congratulations because you've got an audiobook for your second book coming out
I do.
in just a few days, which
What
is
a different experience this time.
yeah,
So the last time I got a sample of my audiobook, this time the woman who's narrating has been in constant contact with me and making available to me as she reads the various chapters. And what's so amazing is that she takes on 3 completely different accents for each of my narrators, and she is amazing.
Yeah. I was lucky because with my audiobook, I had Helen Laser. She's amazing. She did the accents. She did different voices. I could not have been more thrilled with that. But what the trend is now is even more. It's not just one narrator. They're talking about full on cast to make it even more of an experience, almost like a movie within your audiobook. We're talking music, we're talking sound, and we're not even talking about the AI component, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But the audiobook is becoming even more of a production, if you will.
Yeah, it's like we're reverting back to the days of radio,
Yeah. I
right?
love that. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that. And then you factor in with the AI because
right.
now authors, and this is really important for authors who are with maybe a small press that you don't get an audiobook deal, or really hybrid and self-publishing authors, that audiobooks used to be completely out of the realm unless you wanted to spend thousands of dollars.
Right.
Now they're generating an AI book. I listened to a sample of an AI book yesterday, of all
Oh,
things.
wow.
Was it the same? No, but I kind of already knew because it did say it had a disclaimer. This is read by AI,
Mhm.
but it wasn't bad. And so I'm kind of torn because I also believe in the narrators. They
Right.
deserve the credit because they're geniuses. They're artists.
Yeah.
But also I see for someone who has has a smaller profile, has a smaller book, that they can get in on the action because
Mhm.
audiobooks, their sales are continuing to go up.
Yeah, I saw a statistic that said that audiobook sales quadrupled in the
Yeah.
last decade, which
Yeah,
is amazing.
yeah, and it's coming up there with the digital book because remember, everyone thought that books were over. No one was going to
Right.
have books. Actual books are still there, and it's audiobooks that are soaring, getting close to the digital. Now, I'm a digital girl. I'd rather read it on my phone and whatnot, but that's
Yeah.
another episode. Another trend that I was shocked about, and I'm thrilled about this one. This happened, and I found this from the New York Times. It is the
Mhm.
resurgent of bookstores. It's the new cool hangout. There have been several bookstores, an opening of 422 new bookstores this year alone. And that is a significant increase of previous years. And it's not just like your big box bookstores, but these are smaller bookstores. And there's one that is opening from my house 1 mile away that is called the Raven. And it is going to be it's like a bookstore bar. And I love that. I love that bookstores are not on death's door. I mean, Amazon, let's be honest, is still the king of books, but bookstores are not out for the count.
Even Barnes and Noble, I remember a huge wave of all these Barnes and Nobles closing in Connecticut. And now there's a bunch of them opening up again, but they're opening up with a much smaller footprint, as you said. And they're really integrating the cafe feel into the bookstore, which I love.
Yeah. And I got this off of a New York Times article, and that article is fascinating. We're going to put that at the end of our show notes. Because again, I hadn't heard that, and I hadn't heard of another trend that you had not heard of as well. And I found this on People Magazine and New York Times. It is called the transforming of reading experience, the trend of readaways. It is a fascinating trend that's reshaping how individuals approach vacations through VRBO. So people are planning a vacation around their reading. How amazing is that?
Retreat. I would love that. That would be my ideal vacation.
Yeah, and they're seeing a surge of people curious about
vacations surrounding books.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. So I'm going to just read this. It says, according to VRBO and People Magazine, an impressive 91% of travelers expressed interest in trips focused on reading, relaxation, and family time. Mention of reading relating terms in guest reviews have surged 285% over the year, while researches for book retreats and book club retreats, which that's another thing, on Pinterest saw 100% and 270% respectively. So this indicates that book enthusiasts are wanting to travel with a book theme. I did not know about this.
No, me neither. But I embrace it with open arms.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So, and so before we end this, because there is one more book trend that's kind of going to lead into something else we're going to do here. So it's from Written Word Media, and this is going to be in the show notes. There's going to be a rise of author scams. And this is going to kind of lead into what we're talking about on our next episode. Donna, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah. For our next episode, we're going to talk about various marketing scams and how to detect them and how to vet various marketers who reach out to you. Yeah. So I know that I have been victim of it. I'm sure Hope has been victim to it. Yes. So we're going to kind of help you open your eyes so you don't fall victim to it too.
Yeah, and it's and they're attributing it to, and not that it's all its fault, to increase of AI and the availability of AI and making these scams look pretty legit. Yeah. And it's something that authors should really be aware of, and also readers as well. And so it's really that is a trend, unfortunately, for 2026. And so again, it leads us to our next episode. And Donna, where can everyone find us for our next episodes?
Our next episode is on Spotify, RSS, Apple, Amazon, YouTube. And we will also post clips to Instagram. So we hope that you follow us there. And you could always get links to any of our shows on our website at www.authorstalkingbookish.com.
Well, here's to a wonderful 2026. And again, Donna, congratulations on the expansion of your family. That is the best news of 2026.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be hard to top.
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Hope Gibbs.
And I'm Donna Norman Carbone. It's time for you to get to work.
We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks with another tip from your author friends.